K-Clashes, Super Hawk Riders won't work as great in higher legends. This is what I said and thought, and this is what many other people have thought as well, because the Super Hawk Riders would just go down too quick. Well, we were proven wrong, because we have as well Super Hawk Rider players within the top ranks, and one of them is Sir Gavin, who's in the top 500 global with this army composition. Which is really crazy to think about, because there's not even a heal spell in this army composition. And talking about Super Hawk Riders, this is something I would have expected for sure. So I think we should dive in, break the attack down, and see how he's somehow managing to stay in the top ranks of the new reworked legend system. And a huge shout out goes to Sir Gavin for actually sharing all of those attacks. We're going to have different base styles, which we can take a look at. And if you want to dive even further into the strategy, I can just recommend his YouTube channel, because he's a content creator as well. I will link that for sure down below in the description of the video. And he's just this Super Hawk Rider goat. But let's break the attacks down. In the first base already, I would have thought, no shot, no chance Super Hawk Riders could 3-star this base. But with this unique approach, he is making this work. The first thing is no heal spells. He's going to combine that with the healing tome. The second thing is, that's right, the Royal Champion Charge, which he is heavily committing into. 7 invisibility spells, and you can see it right there as well, the haste spell. With that, he can always clear out an entire Rage Tower compartment, and that is crucial. Because, as I said earlier, those Rage Tower compartments are deadly to any Super Hawk Rider army composition. So you have to take down at least one of them with the Royal Champion Charge, and that's exactly what he did right here. The next approach is as well typically always the same, which is King, and as well the Queen with a lock launcher to dive for even more value. On this one though, what he's trying to do is, whenever he's luring out the Client Castle, especially with like Ice Golems, what he's trying to do is lure the Ice Golems away with some sneaky archers to take them out, then later on, and make sure that they're not stuck on his main push. With the Spring Trap rework though, you were as well to see that, well, they can now catch Super Wall Breakers. With that, the compartment is not open. He is now having his King walking around, which is quite unfortunate. And Headhunter, I'm not sure why he's not deploying the Headhunter here, but taking a lot of damage then. But with the Earthquake Boots, he can open up the compartment with the Lock Launcher as well. He can get back into the base, and with that, he can continue the push. But now the big game changer, the secret weapon, how he calls it himself, is the Overgrowth. I feel like that spell is just so beyond busted for ground attacks, it is kind of scary. Because what this spell does is actually 2 major things which are crucial for a high-level understanding of any strategy. The first, the most obvious thing is, you just want to make sure that there is less damage on your troops. But the one crucial thing, which is probably even more important, is the game-changing factor of turning buildings invisible and creating pathings. Which means this area could have been completely ignored by him. And so we right now see why he's using the Ice Block. Because the Ice Block with the Healing Tome is pretty much a second heal spell. The Healing Tome is going to last way longer than a regular heal spell. But what he does, he's going to pop whenever the Super Hawk Riders are having a lot of damage income. This then means that he's going to pop the Eternal Tome, protect them, heal them back up, and then when they're again in an area where they take a lot of damage, then they're going to use, or he's going to use the Ice Block spell. The reason why this works is because the Healing Tome most likely is still active. They're taking like only 6% of the damage, and with that, the Healing Tome can then heal them back up. And as I said, that's pretty much a healing spell for only 1 housing space, which is really smart. So this is how you crush those Rage Tower bases, I guess. So let's keep watching and let's learn how you can really master this strategy. And we're going to take a look a second time at a Rage Tower base, because I feel like this base style is the most common one when it comes down to the mid to lower trophy ranges, because a lot of people cannot handle those Rage Towers. It's just too much damage for them. Higher up you go in Legends, the less Rage Towers you're going to see, because there is a lot of good counters for them, like Overgrowth, like Fireball, and so on. So people have figured out how to attack them. In the mid to low trophy ranges of Legends, people have not adapted just yet. So Rage Towers are the best way on punishing those players and getting really good gains on defense. But for this one, it is again the same approach as we have talked about earlier, which is you have to take down one of the Rage Towers. He's going for this left side compartment. He's saying, hey, there is the Giga Bomb, which means there's no more, there are no more traps, and he won this gamble. Whenever you see the Giga Bomb, yes, it is some type of gambling, because there could be other traps, there could be no other traps. It is really, really up in the air, and you have to react on the fly. On this one, he's even keeping the Fox alive until this point, so getting a lot of rotations in. And now he's trying to as well go for the back end. And something which you will see him a lot of times do is take a little bit of extra damage on his Royal Champion, make her visible during that time, and because of that, he can lure out the clan castle, which means he can poison the furnace, and then you will see him use some archers somewhere where there is nothing covered. On this right side, the mortar did cover, so he's going to do it over there, where he then can distract them, take them out, and make sure that his hero dive is really powerful. Because you will a lot of times see that the hero dive, especially with like fireball attacks, where you cannot lure always the clan castle, you will be stuck on the clan castle for quite some time. And if you have only the hero dive, this is where the problems can start, and you can get little to zero value. So this is where he is delaying the last invis, for example, to take extra damage, but at the same time, at the cost, where he is then able to lure out the clan castle on the far right side, take it out with bakeries and such. That's a really smart way. At the bottom side now, he's diving in with the heroes. The hook tower obviously helped him. Unfortunately, the spiky ball did go the wrong direction, and he's now using a different siege, but just because the lock launcher, it seems like it's not getting the most value here. But I would say 95% of the time, you will see him use the lock launcher. It's just the best thing you can do with having a hero dive like this. Now we have the Eternal Tome at the top side. It is quite late, so you do not have as many Super Outriders left, so the Icebox spell cannot really provide as much tanking anymore. With the Overgrowth, he made sure that the back end, the Rage Tower cannot reload. Now ice blocking the Giant, which is another thing you can do with the Icebox. So it can be used in different ways for this army composition. And this is just going to completely smash the base, because the Royal Champion with the Giant is just going to wreck through this back end. Is going to be another 3-star for him. So really impressive showing. You really can tell Super Hawk Riders played this way can be still incredibly powerful. And I'm wondering, and this is something where I hope that this could be happening, and that is, do we maybe see then more variety within esports and pro matches? Because now more people are playing this way tougher mode. Yes, we don't have equipment restrictions, but obviously those strategies would still work with those equipment restrictions. But this means, do we see those strategies as well in esports matches, maybe in the World Championship? Where right now, currently, people would hold it back with them. But I'm just hoping there's so many cool strategies currently coming around, getting created, and which are really working in the Legend mode. So, I mean, it's just mind-blowing. But hey, let's continue, because not every base is a Rage Tower base. And this base is just really popular in higher Legends, especially because it defends so well versus Root Riders, or it has, at least when it started popping up. And Rank 1 has used it, some of the top 10 reset players have used it, and it's working really incredibly well. One of the main reasons is the Royal Champion baits. Typically, people are Royal Champion charging for this far right side, but there's an entire Tesla farm luring the Royal Champion away, and for whatever reason, people cannot react in time and just lose the Royal Champion. I don't know if people who are doing Royal Champion charges or start sleeping. Whatever the reason might be, the base is defending really well. But we see a complete different approach here, an approach which is not possible for many other strategies. And that is diving into the second or even third layer of this defense right away with the haste spell and the 7 invisibility spell, which Root Rider attacks do not have. They typically don't use the haste spell, and they as well typically do not use 7 invis spells. With that though, he's getting the entire ring interrupted, which means this base is having like a double layer ring, which means yes, the outside buildings right here where the explosives were, and then this inside ring behind the town hall kind of where it's going to be another, like it's another connection pretty much, which makes this pathing for the Root Rider just so awkward. But back to the attack, he's now going to have again the dive in with the lock launcher, with the golem, and that's another really cool thing you have to keep an eye on, which is he's going to deploy the golem first and then the ice golem. The reasoning behind that is he wants to have the golem guiding the ice golem into the middle of the base. Because you can see now the ice golem has popped, but if he would have deployed the ice golem first, the ice golem would have frozen the wall on the outside. No value whatsoever. So instead, he's going to use the ice golem after the golem, and with that, the ice golem pop is going to at least catch one of the major defenses, like the multi-arch tower or other key defenses further inside the base. And this is really the crucial part on why you're deploying the golem first, not the ice golem first. But back to the push. As long as you're getting the guidance of your king into the core, you're going to have great value, especially with the Spike Ball and Earthquake. Then as we're going to the back end, the Eternal Tome ability, he's going to block the entire trap for the Royal Champion charge on this far right side as well. And with that, you can already see this attack is looking amazing. some more Hog Riders on the outside. He always has some reinforcement Hog Riders, and then the push is just going strong. And this is the Tesla farm I was telling you about. There are as well some of the spring traps in between. You can see, okay, never mind, this guy does not have the springs. Typically there are spring traps in between. Now the ice block on the Hog Riders again to make sure that they're staying safe while the Royal Champion can really do her thing. And with that being said, this base is completely wrecked. As well, something you might have noticed is that he's sometimes using the two apprentice wardens and sometimes like 2 yetis. This is something which he seems to like switch around. Sometimes he's going with the apprentice wardens with hero dive and as well the super rock riders. Sometimes he prefers the 2 yetis. I'm not really sure what his go-to is right now, but he has shared different replays there for me, where he's sometimes using, like on this one, the 2 apprentice wardens, sometimes the 2 yetis. I guess that is something you can switch around. If you're using the 2 yetis, you can add 2 more archers, which he's doing. But that was the poison tower base. I think we should go back to rage tower bases because I feel like that is the most common style which a lot of you guys out there are probably facing. And those double rage tower bases can really give you a headache if you're not approaching them properly. For this one, he could try again to take down one of the rage tower compartments, which he's going to do. But you can get creative with the approaches here. So what you could go through one of those compartments, but they look clearly baited. I mean, there's a lot of space for traps. So what he does instead, he's trying to go from an angle which the defender seems to not have predicted, which is from this monolith into the core. Again, because there's a lot of value close by, he's going to use the earthquake again for the core, break it down, make sure that there's a lot of damage on those buildings, and then keep skipping defenses to have great value with this invisibility spell, and even going around another invis right here, another invis, and this core is completely gone. So yes, you could for sure tell that the key of the success is the Royal Champion charge. As well, something take a look at that. He took down the clan castle. There weren't even no troops coming out of this. You could say, oh yeah, the guy has no defensive clan castle. The reason for this is because he took down the building with the electro aura, and this means now the hero dive is completely enabled. If those heroes are not facing ice golems or anything like that, and that is one of the most crucial things about this attack strategy. Distract the ice golems. This is why he's going in with so many archers. You want to have the ice golems getting distracted. Otherwise, your heroes won't get even close to enough value to actually 3-star. But with the lock launcher now, move it in. The Arch Queen is going to come back. The King is going in. You can start the Super Rock Rise then from the top side. And exactly as I said, those corner compartments were the compartments which were baited with the giant bombs. It was quite obvious. I feel like a lot of those Royal Champion charge baits are so obvious, but they still work somehow. Whatever. The top side now is baited as well because, hey, it's a magical base, right? So the top side is baited as well. So he's going to lose some Hog Riders. He's going to decide now to use the Eternal Charm because there was just too many traps. And now on the back end, he's going to use the Overgrowth. Again, as I said earlier, the Overgrowth is OP for 2 reasons. First off, you can completely deny strong buildings their value, especially long-range buildings, which means you can use the spell, and by the time where your troops have reached that building, it's now going to be back up, but the long-range value is completely gone, and there's something for the Town Hall. Or as well, pathing, which is another thing. If your Royal Champion charge fails, you can make some buildings useless and at the same time create pathing for your troops so they're not splitting up and they're staying really with their value. And with this one, he's even able to swag some defenses. I mean, it's just crushed. It is, I will be honest, I thought Super Rock Riders would not work. The main thing for me was because, hey, it's not getting played in esports matches whatsoever. But I feel like watching now the Legend mode, it really shows there are more things viable than just Root Riders. And they work pretty well and consistently if you can master them. That is for sure the really important thing here. So if you're putting in the time, make sure that you're checking out as well Sir Gavin's YouTube channel because he's a master with the Super Hog Riders. Otherwise, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed this one. I will see you guys back tomorrow with the next one. Until then, see ya and bye-bye.